Good morning. Will the meeting please come to order? The purpose of the organization meeting is to select city council officers. Nominations are now open for president for city council. Yes,
Habits are hard to break.
I know. That's okay.
Thank you. Mayor Foster, a 16-year veteran and icon on City Council, has retired. She campaigned with me in each of our elections over the last 8 years. We co-chaired the Town and Gown Committee. She and I consulted and collaborated on a multitude of issues and causes. I nominated her for her last term as mayor. I will miss her, and her departure will leave a great gap on City Council and in City Hall. Today, we have many new faces in leadership positions among city departments and divisions. Accordingly, a mayor with extensive experience in the city's practical and technical functions will be beneficial. While many of you are qualified to be mayor, I have some considerations I want to share. The basic powers and authority of mayor are no greater than any other member of City Council. The most significant qualification for serving as mayor is to have a thorough working knowledge of our rules of order and the ability to keep our meetings flowing smoothly so as to not get bogged down by superfluous comments and irrelevant musings. Councilmember Pero has repeatedly demonstrated his knowledge of our rules of order. He has extensive experience in presiding over business meetings, whether it is in his long-held chairmanship of the city's Fiscal Development Committee, his chairmanship of the Housing Authority, his presidency of the Virginia Military Institute's Alumni Association, or as chairman of the regional MPO. His knowledge of our rules of order are likely superior to anyone on this dais except for our city attorney. Councilmember Pero also has seniority and tenure on City Council. He is the second longest tenured member of City Council. That tenure extends for more than a decade, and he has held a multitude of other leadership positions in our city and throughout this region. Much of City Council's decisions deal with technical and practical considerations involving infrastructure, land use, and engineering issues. Councilmember Pero's expertise as a civil engineer equip him well to assess and understand the practical and technical considerations that are regularly presented to City Council. As a business owner, Councilmember Pero deals with finances, cost projections, budgets, and balance sheets on a weekly, if not daily basis. Councilmember Pero has not always agreed with the prevailing majority on City Council. Nevertheless, when Councilman Pero's perspectives do not prevail in council decisions, he still gives his earnest support to the will of council's majority and shows a true team effort to accomplish that will. He is a team player and not divisive. For example, he endorsed my 2015 proposal to more efficiently and effectively use our neighborhood community centers by inviting local nonprofits, businesses, the school division, and others to deliver services in those centers. In 2016, Councilmember Pero spearheaded my proposal by arranging a city partnership with the Boys and Girls Club to operate programs at the Jefferson Park Dearrington Neighborhood Center. He has demonstrated a genuine collaborative posture. He does not express nor place divisive or derogatory labels on citizens, groups, or interests who disagree with him. 4 of those of you who sit with me on this dais had election campaigns that praised the virtues of inclusiveness and diversity. I have always been a zealous advocate for those principles. If those of us who prize diversity are to be faithful to our words and demonstrate leadership, then we must back our words by example. Otherwise, our words are pretentious and our message is fake. Inclusiveness is not the same as ethnic and cultural diversity. Inclusiveness embraces ethnic diversity and cultural diversity, but it is so much more. The goal of inclusiveness is to maximize the plurality of competing ideas. It is not simply the assembled collection of people whose physical appearances are different or who come from different backgrounds. One's ethnicity or physical appearance does not dictate one's ideas or perspectives, but a diversity of ideas and perspectives is the core justification for diversity. Inclusiveness and diversity of ideas generates a melting pot of thought. That is at the foundation of America's principles of constitutional representative democracy. Inclusive leadership cannot exist if the voices of the leaders are singular, uniform, monolithic, and without critique or self-analysis. Now and for some time, this City Council has had a solid majority of members who share similar perspectives and often agree on even the most contentious issues. That agreement can be very positive if differing ideas ultimately find consensus. But in these times, I think it is beneficial and efficient if City Council's leadership team includes a voice that offers reasoned expressions of differing ideas and perspectives. That would invite greater and more careful scrutiny and critique of proposals before they come to City Council as a whole. The preemptive critical analysis will likely improve the quality and efficiency of all presentations to City Council and may expedite and enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of Council's ultimate discussions and decisions. We criticize Washington politicians and call upon them to show statesmanship through collaboration and compromise. How convenient for us to call for statesmanship when our calls expect others to show it, and we can conveniently remain in the comfortable security of our own status quo, regardless of whether they do or don't. It is far different if the acts of statesmanship must be shown by us, especially if our acts of statesmanship may threaten the comforts of our own status quo. My principles compel me to seek statesmanship in this time and in this place. Councilman Perro's long tenure, extensive and proven ability to effectively preside over and conduct meetings, his professional background, his knowledge and skills, and his collaborative attitude all make him highly qualified to be Lynchburg's mayor. Therefore, to demonstrate leadership by example, inclusiveness, statesmanship, and to promote greater efficiency and effectiveness in our meetings, I nominate and ask each of you to support Councilman Perro as mayor so that each of us can fulfill those campaign pledges to seek inclusiveness and diversity. As public servants, let us place public service and statesmanship above petty Washington, D.C.-like partisanship. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to make a nomination.
Yes.
I am nominating Council Member Trenae Tweedy for mayor because she has all of the strong attributes that are essential to be effective in the mayor's position. She is truly passionate about serving and making our city a better place for all citizens. She has a proven strong ability to build relationships with businesses and the community in an inclusive manner. She is fair, reasonable, committed, and present. She is a thoughtful, insightful decision maker, is legitimately concerned about all citizens, and has a healthy viewpoint in her approach. She has a clear vision for our community and is decisive and can make tough decisions without regard to her image. Having served 2 years as vice mayor gives her invaluable institutional knowledge. She has served on both the Physical Development Committee and the Finance Committee. She has supported and worked for 2 mayors, 2 city managers, 5 public school superintendents, and with the most recent superintendent appointment. She has held leadership positions on the Lynchburg City School Board, steps with Links Board, and with this council. She also served on the Horizon Behavioral Health Board, Lynchburg Redevelopment Community, Richmond Redevelopment Housing Authority Board, Youth Services Advisory Board, and the Lynchburg Community Action Group Board. Trinae also gives tirelessly to the community on a volunteer basis. She has demonstrated her commitment to our community through her work in the area of community engagement, public and crisis relations, workforce development, and program coordination. She has served as a local liaison between individuals/families, public agencies, businesses, community organizations, and local media outlets. As a public servant, Trinae seeks to serve citizens in our growing city through a strong delivery of citizen-engaged customer service and responsivity to all Lynchburg residents. She is an accessible leader that analyzes topics and issues based on information resources, data, a clear understanding of various viewpoints, and the assessment of outcomes and end goals. Her collaborative leadership style and networking speaks volumes about her belief in the inclusion of various stakeholder voices in decision-making process that impact city policy and operations. Our mayor needs to face issues that are maybe unpopular, and Trinae has demonstrated that she can do this. It is also relevant to note that Ms. Tweedy has been elected as an at-large or citywide representative for 2 election cycles, and in the most recent 2018 elections, she has obtained the highest vote count amongst all candidates. As an independent leader and council member, Trinae represents and has the support from citizens throughout every area of Lynchburg. She is without a doubt truly qualified to represent our city as mayor, and I would like to nominate her. Thank you very much.
Are there any more nominations from the floor for president for city council? Hearing none, a nomination is now in order to close the nomination for president.
So moved. Second.
It has been properly moved and second. The nomination for president has been closed. Deputy Clerk Thomas will call the roll to close the nominations for president.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yes.
Councilmember Helgeson?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pero?
Aye.
Councilmember Tweedy?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilder?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
The nominations have been closed. Please circle your ballot for president for city council and pass it to the right. We have 2 ballots, one for mayor and one for vice mayor.
Madam Clerk, are comments in order at this point?
Yes, before you make your nomination. Yes, sir. Councilman Evans.
I appreciate that, Madam Clerk, or Madam President of Council at this moment. With this, I greatly appreciate Councilmember Nelson's leadership, his insight, his clarity. When this election had come before, what I thought is what a great thing that we could do as a city is if we had unity. And unity means a package deal where you appreciate the majority, but you respect the minority. And you come with a package deal of unity that comes up with a 7-0 vote on both the mayor and both the vice mayor. One that says, let's work together. Let's not just speak with words about coming together as a community, but let's actually do it. And both votes, our very first votes of city council for this year, could have been 7-0 votes. With that, I asked and I tried because I wanted us to really try to come together and make a historic year. We have lots of challenges, as Councilmember Nelson has stated, coming up before us. And let's do this as best as we can in the spirit of unity. Unity means working together. Unity means compromise. Unity doesn't mean steamrolling. You know, when I look at one side, one group, you know, the experience package, I look at 4 years of experience, which is good. I look at Councilmember Nelson, 8 years of experience, just himself. I look at Councilmember Perro, 10 years experience. I look at myself, 14 years of experience. Those first couple of years I don't think count. But after which, coming together in a spirit of unity, I thought would have been great. You know, Saturday I was at a meeting and Carl Hutcherson got up there. And I was reminded of how he brought people together as mayor. And I do greatly appreciate that, from the fact that sometimes we'd bicker and argue. Bert and I would fight about things. But Carl would come together and say, you know, I appreciate Councilmember Helgeson, I appreciate Councilmember Dodson. And he'd come together and kind of make you feel good, even though you lost. You know, like a good father would kind of discipline you, and you would appreciate the fact of, hey, we're coming together, rather than pettiness that kind of can stir the pot or picking at one another. You know, and I greatly appreciate all the things that Councilmember Nelson has said. I appreciate Councilmember Perro and what he has done, and I wish that we could have had a package deal that worked and had a 7-0 for unity. With that being the case, I don't believe that was rejected, you know, and so I'm voting for Councilmember Perro. You know, I guess our guys in the seersucker suits combined have had 32 years of experience.
32.
Those who don't wear seersucker suits today have a combined years of experience of 8. So once you have experience, you wear a seersucker. But anyway, the experience, I think, can be helpful to move our city forward, to come as they meet with the city leadership team and the city manager and school leadership, where they can hear things separately but come up with a better solution when it comes to the city. And when it comes to a public meeting, you can work out a lot of details and it can come forward very cleanly. So anyway, I would urge you to vote for Councilmember Perro, even though I appreciate Councilmember Tweedy. I appreciated how we did Dancing with the Stars together. I appreciate the fact that that wasn't just you know, an activity, an exercise. It was actually something that actually helped bring the community together. People from all over said how great that was to work together. And I thought we could work together on this council, and having a 2 votes for mayor and vice mayor be 7-0. I'm disappointed that we can't, but maybe we can on the second. So thank you.
Does any more council members have any more remarks? If not, circle your ballot and pass it to the right. The deputy clerk will now read the ballots.
Councilmember Wilder votes for Tweedy. Councilmember Dolan votes for Tweedy. Councilmember Tweedy votes for Tweedy. Councilmember Helgeson votes for Perro. Councilmember Nelson votes for Perro. Councilmember Perro votes for Perro. And Councilmember Wright votes for Tweedy.
Councilmember Tweedy has been selected president of City Council. Congratulations. Vice President. Nominations are now open for Vice President for City Council. Yes, Councilman Nelson.
Thank you very much. For the same reasons I articulated a few minutes ago, I would nominate Councilmember Pero as Vice Mayor.
I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Mary Jane Dolan for the Vice President of the Council because of her years of experience in our community, a devoted philanthropist that has truly given her heart and soul to our citizens of Lynchburg and surrounding counties, for being a great mother as well as grandmother, for the time that she has served on numerous nonprofit boards in our community, where has been the thread of changing our community for what Lynchburg is today. I continue to nominate her, believe in her support over the past several years on City Council, worked with her over the years. Also, with her commitment to the Poverty to Progress initiative. I feel that this is a crucial time that we have made substantial progress in that initiative. I think that initiative should continue on, and I believe she will see that too for the next several years. Thank you.
Are there any more?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I thought the mayor was going to be running this. I'm sorry. I was trying to say Vice Mayor also, or Mayor also. And congratulations to you, Madam Mayor. At this point, I'd like to nominate Councilmember Randy Nelson for Vice Mayor. For many, many, many reasons. One, he is meticulously prepared for all these meetings. He's much more articulate than I, which is going to be evident here very shortly. He's got over 8 years of experience, as we heard, but what I really appreciated are his calm and collected thoughts. He is rational and reasonable. He has a deep understanding of the nuances and intricacies of local government. He's respected throughout the community, also as an at-large representative to council. So we have a choice here. We can either elect a nominee with 2 years of experience or a nominee with over 8, one who understands the nuances of local government, the intricacies in regional government relationships, versus a nominee who's only basically just completed 2 budgets. There's a reason why experience is critical. You see it in all levels of government. The more time in a role, the deeper the understanding of the issues. In local government, these issues will repeat or be very similar to an issue that is seen previously. It is this experience that brings wisdom to these important decisions. Councilmember Nelson is a true independent. Over the past 2 years, as council has shifted towards the left, Councilmember Nelson has attempted to pull it back to center. I have no doubt that if council shifted to the right, then Councilmember Nelson would pull it also back towards the center as well. I honestly believe that Councilmember Nelson is best suited to serve our city as Vice Mayor. And I know that I'm on the ballot as well, but I'm going to vote for Councilmember Nelson, and I'd ask that you all do as well. Thank you.
Are there any more nominations from the floor for Vice President? Hearing none, a motion is now in order to close the nominations for Vice President.
So
Madam Clerk, I'll so move.
I'm sorry.
Hagerson, who seconded?
I'll second.
Second. It has been properly moved and second. The nomination for Vice President has been closed. The clerk would now recall the roll.
Councilmember Dolan? Councilmember Helgeson?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pero?
Aye.
Councilmember Tweedy? Mayor Tweedy?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilder?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Nominations for Vice Presidents has been closed. Please circle your ballots and pass them to the left for Vice President. But does anyone make comments?
Yes, isn't
Okay.
it
It's in order.
apropos at this time and
Yes.
in order? Thank you, Madam Clerk. As Councilmember Pero has stated, it has been great experience working with Councilmember Nelson. At times, we strongly disagreed. At times, we strongly agreed. With that, it doesn't change anything. Randy is a true Southern gentleman and a statesman that says what he believes, and he follows it through to the end. He looks through facts. He doesn't just pull off something of political rhetoric. He's not one that looks to get cues or clues of what to do. He's one that has thought it through himself. Lynchburg is a fine city that's been around for decades and centuries. and we need to bring back a Southern statesman, a Southern gentleman. I think that would be a fabulous vote for City Council. I realize that Councilmember Nelson and I disagree many times, but I will gladly and happily vote for him. I hope others will as well, in a spirit of trying to bring things together. I think Randy brings a calm, a logical, and a thoughtful approach. And I greatly appreciate his friendship. I greatly appreciate his leadership. When we disagree, it's like water off a duck's back to Randy, and he just moves on. And I greatly appreciate that, Randy. And I'll be casting my vote for you today, and I hope others will as well.
Any more remarks? Please circle your ballot and pass it to the right.
Hey. Oops. I hope I did what I said I did. Caesar, I may have done what you did, Caesar, sorry.
Your vote.
Did I?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay.
I think we're okay.
Okay, good.
The deputy clerk will now read the ballots for Vice President of City Council.
Councilmember Helgeson votes for Nelson.
I did.
Councilmember Nelson votes for Pero. Councilmember Pero votes for Nelson. Councilmember Wright votes for Dolan. Councilmember Tweedy votes for Dolan. Councilmember Dolan votes for Dolan. Councilmember Wilder votes for Dolan.
Councilmember Dolan has been selected as Vice President of City Council. Congratulations, Vice President Dolan. At this time, we need to shift where you're going to sit because I have to fix the voting boards for next time. So you know you're not there.
Thank you, Clerk Chambers, for what you did for this process. And to everyone here tonight, this morning, I would like to thank all of you for being present during this reorganization meeting. Also, I would like to thank my fellow council members for your support and electing me as mayor. And for everyone on this council, one thing that we all agree with is for the success of Lynchburg. And so we will always work collaboratively. We may not always agree. Sometimes we do disagree. But we will always come together for what is best for our citizens and for this community. So for that, I thank you and congratulations, Vice Mayor Dolan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much.
Now, the next council meeting will be held on July 10th at 4 p.m. And on this note, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.